Follow me on Instagram to never ever miss any of my crazy updates. Hi guys and welcome to another vlog. I'm driving this. This is the Mercedes EQE SUV. It's very similar to the EQS and the design is a love it or a hate it because obviously it's aimed towards aerodynamics for a better range. This car costs rupees 1.47 crores on road Mumbai. So yes, it is quite expensive and it's going to compete with the Audi Q8 e-tron. But before the light shuts, because it obviously wants to conserve the battery all the time, let me show you the lights. All LED units. It clearly says digital light on the inside. It has 1.3 million micro mirrors and this continuous LED which is running throughout, which by the way has become a Volkswagen trait now because all the Volkswagen group cars have it. We talk about sustainability. People actually throw bottles like this everywhere. And I'm in a place where public is not allowed. This is a complete restricted area only for the army. Obviously, because this is a born electric car, it does not have to have a grill. So there's nothing open here for breathing of the internal combustion engine. No ice here. Huge Mercedes logo with a radar behind. You see, lot of Mercedes logos. How many Mercedes logos do you want? Mercedes-Benz designers are like, yes, here you have it. Camera here. You obviously get front parking sensors, towing hook there, and the design is very much similar to other Mercedes cars. So not really very striking, but the interior is amazing. Anyways, you obviously have this indicator here, which unfortunately isn't dynamic swipe. And okay, the car is going to turn off itself automatically. Coming to the side of the car, I don't know how that window is left open, but anyway, this car is slightly under 4.9 meters in length, but because this is born electric, it has a wheelbase which is more than 3 meters, which is usually not the case for a car of this length. So that's very impressive for interior room. And the key is the standard Mercedes-Benz affair. Now you might be wondering, why haven't I opened the bonnet? Because that's the first thing which I usually do when I do a vlog, right? The bonnet does not open. It obviously opens, but only the technicians will open it and they have access to it. I can also open it. Inside the glove box, there's some lever you have to pull and all. But you're not supposed to open it. So I'm going to be a good boy today. I'm not going to open it. Wheels, 20 inches. Tire size 255, 45, 20s. Alloy wheel design definitely looks nice. Obviously, air suspension on this car. Yeah, yes, whatever. 6 parking sensors. I think self park will be there. So if the bonnet does not open, how do you fill washer fluid? Well, washer fluid goes in right here. That's kind of cool. And that's the reason I have kept this bottle here to demonstrate the same. That's how you actually add washer fluid. Very nice. Says EQE here. Honestly, the design of the EQE SUV and the EQS SUV is so similar now that you can't make out. That's the reason why you have to have EQE written right there. Camera here. Camera is almost everywhere. Door handles go inside because obviously it has to conserve the battery now. Not really. It's for better aerodynamic efficiency. Now, oh God, it's locking the car. I want to unlock the car. So that's a bit of a tricky situation. I'll keep pressing this button till it really opens. So I think we have to remove the key and unlock the car. So this is the thing I don't like about electric cars. They want to save battery so much now. They always keep shutting the car. The car was on, now it's shut on its own. Says Mercedes-Benz here. There's illumination here. There's illumination on the running board as well. And the interior is a very nice place. But unfortunately, because the car is turned off, I can't show you this screen because it has got multiple screens. This is an individual screen from this screen. But they call it the 56-inch hyper screen. Let's turn on the car. Yeah. Now because I'm seated here, I can actually turn this on. Otherwise, it doesn't really turn on. And I can watch movies and all. But if the driver looks here now, it will stop showing any display here. The usual Mercedes menu with a lot of things. Here is the button to open the glove box where there's a lever hidden somewhere there. You see it has the air balance package. So there's a perfume. Yeah, that is the perfume. So it actually puts the perfume through the air vents, which is quite cool. So it obviously has a HEPA filter and it has got 710 watt output from the 15 speaker Burmester surround sound system, which is amazing. The AC vents look really cool. The interior design really blows your mind. Wish I could have said the same about the exterior as well. And doesn't have soft closed door function. Let's sit inside because there's decent amount of space here. Obviously, the window won't roll up because I think there's some child lock or something of that sort. There seems to be decent amount of space here. In fact, there's good amount of leg room in knee room. Yeah, that's actually quite good. Under-eye support is also decent. Not great, honestly, for someone as tall as me. It gets a 4-zone climate control air conditioning system, which will not turn on at the moment because I have to turn on the air conditioning from there. Really nice dashboard design and there's good amount of headroom as well. Light placement here, seat belts get the height adjust function. 9 airbags in this car. There's a hook here as well. And yeah, quality is actually very good. And then aircraft style storage here. You obviously get a center armrest which has a mobile holder, which I used to call as a pen holder before I feel so stupid. And twin cup holders as well. Center passenger gets ahead. There's no hump, it's quite flat here. And then 2 USB-C charging sockets, so quite practical in that regard. And you've got speakers here, you've got speakers almost everywhere. Really comfortable place to be in. Let me just get out. And I am actually going to put this seat down because 60-40 split, of course. Let's put this back. I can move this ahead and behind like this. That's kind of cool and nice as well. Let's just shut this. It says Mercedes-Benz here. Again, the lights are very much similar to what we have seen in a lot of Mercedes EQ cars. But I don't understand why it has this fake treatment happening here. There was no need of this. No dynamic swipe indicators, but Mercedes logos are inside. And then this continuous treatment, of course. EQE 500 4MATIC is what it says. Parking sensors. Parking camera is actually inside here. It pops out from there. You get a rear spoiler, high mounted stop lamp, rear wiper with the Mercedes logo there. Let's open the boot. It opens like that. Power tailgate. 520 liters, but kind of useless because the spare wheel is placed right on top. And there's some storage here. I think the charging cable will be there. It's a 11 kilowatt. Mercedes clearly says don't use for climbing. So you can't remove this hook and put it on a mountain to climb it. No, you cannot do that. This is light here. Obviously power tailgate. And you've got hooks and all that. I can actually have a 12-volt charging socket used there. Another hook there. But you can't recline the seat because this is not a 3-row SUV, right? It's a 2-row SUV. Meanwhile, can we just open this for a moment? No. It's kind of difficult. I have to actually untangle this. Obviously, spare wheel is smaller size and all that. But let's just shut this and there it goes back down. Now, this car obviously gets plenty of features. They've opted for the higher variant for India. I just wish they got the AMG line, of course. To open this now, you have to open it from inside. The car has to be shut, of course. So let's sit inside. Obviously, it has got blind view monitor and whatnot. In fact, it's got multiple sensors here. If you notice, this is for the lane keep assist and the rain sensing wipers. What is this sensor? You guys are going to tell me right now. So let's actually look at the dashboard, which is really amazing. Before that, let me press a button to move the seat. The seat is moving, the steering is moving. Obviously, memory function, heating, ventilation, all that is there as well. And you can save up to 3 people's settings too. Here, you get a control for the lights, electric parking brake, beautiful aircraft style vents, and you obviously get heads up display, which is really very cool. You get this sort of a wood treatment with Mercedes logos on it. Looks really nice. And then this storage space here, which is kind of hidden. 2 USB-C charging sockets. Here you get 2 USB-C charging sockets. Lot of charging options here. Huge screen with the 0-layer concept. This is amazing. You get a lot of information. Off-road as well, which nobody's really going to take it. But then Mercedes' new menu has all this and more. The usual bits in terms of massage. Plenty of massage options. Then obviously you have seat kinetics. Ambient lighting has multiple colors. So I can just go into not having multiple colors. Single colors. And then I can decide 64 colors. Amazing. The quality of the screen is absolutely cool. Like there's so much information, but then it's very similar to the EQS. So there's nothing new here, obviously. Then you have the Mercedes EQ menu, which will tell you what is the charge like. And then you can obviously plan a lot of things from there as well. So that's kind of nice. Yeah, I love this screen. In fact, I think we should just turn on the car. It says not ready to drive because firstly, I need to turn on the car by pressing this button. Now it is turning on. It makes this sound, and then obviously ambient light is really very cool here. This is the vehicle start button, and then you have some buttons here. Let's get into the camera function because it gets a 360-degree parking camera, which is really very cool. Look at this. It's so freaking awesome. And you've got multiple views here. Yeah, that's a lot of views. But again, like I was saying, usual views. You can actually save the position where you want the camera to get activated. So GPS position saved. Every time it comes here, which it will never come again, it will activate the camera. So that's another very cool feature to have. There it's telling me the air filter. Here's a climate menu. So, I mean, obviously it's a Mercedes-Benz loaded with a lot of things. This is also amazing menu, and I can browse to so much stuff here, which I will hopefully be changing while driving the car. So there's this sport one as well. So a lot of info here. The horn is also nice. This is obviously for regen, and steering feels nice to hold. Overall quality and all is fantastic. Only thing is the dashboard is a bit high setup, and there you obviously get a mirror and light. Same is the case here as well, and then you obviously get a microphone as well. You just swipe it like this and there opens the sunroof. Firstly, it's the sun blind opens, and obviously it gets a panoramic sunroof, which brings in a lot of airy feeling inside this cabin. This cabin is more blackish, so let it go all the way behind. It's kind of slow because it's huge. Seats are very nice. I love the headrest on this car. I love the ambient light colors. I love the way the sound has been put here. So it's saying normal regen mode right now. So you can see everything almost here with using these buttons. You can change a lot of parameters using these buttons. You can change parameters here. It has got cruise control. It has got ADAS, of course. This is obviously auto dimming. Let's open this, and there it actually opens. Yeah, this is how it opens, and it opens decent. Yeah, I can actually swipe it more. No, that's the maximum it opens. So it has this swipe thingy going on right there. Overall, plenty of features, really high quality, but then it's very similar to the EQS, so I can't really differentiate it much. Wood treatment here is good. By the way, lower variants which are not available in India don't have the hyper screen. They have the screen similar to what we see in the C class, and which means that there's no screen here, of course. Were you able to see the heads-up display? There it is. And I think we are, oh my god, the display and all is super cool. We are all set to go. Turning on the car, nice sound which comes straight away. We get into sport mode, get into drive, nothing much to actually go through, and off we go. So there you see it had a immediate jump, because obviously electric has that instant torque. This car produces 408 horsepower and 858 Newton meters of torque, makes it very, very sprightly. My goodness, the performance is really very good because obviously electric, now instant torque. But let me tell you, this car does feel quite heavy, and you can feel that weight around the corner. Steering is lovely. Mercedes is doing some really amazing steering because there's good amount of feel, there's good amount of feedback. It obviously is underpinned, obviously this is a born electric platform, so there's some advantages, but it is having a 90.56 kilowatt hour battery pack, which means that the range is claimed at 550 kilometers. In the real world, expect somewhere between 400 to 450 kilometers, which is kind of decent enough. I'm actually going to change this to the classic view because I like that. Here we are also going to change something. I'm just going to put info because we can, obviously. And the steering is light at lower speeds, but this car unfortunately does not get rear wheel steering. I think it's optional. Abroad you definitely get it, but here you don't get it. It gets adaptive dampers. So when you change the mode, now it changes so many parameters. Why are there so many Novas here? Anyways, it changes so many parameters. Like, it obviously changes the way the power is delivered. So the electric motor will obviously be more sprightly in sport mode. And talking about modes, now there are so many of them here. There's economy, there's comfort, there's sport, there's individual, which lets you tweak a lot of things. And there's another mode which I just saw. What is this particular mode? This is an off-road mode? No, I don't know. It's an adaptive mode actually. So we're just going to be in sport mode because sport mode is the best. Now obviously in terms of acceleration, this car is quite quick off the line for the weight it has. It's still able to manage that pretty well. Here, you know, sort of instant response. It doesn't hesitate at all. That is the kind of performance it has to offer, which is quite amazing, yeah. And body roll is obviously there, but I think it's decently well contained for a car of this size. It's kind of good. Only thing is the dashboard is super high set, so that's something you have to be a little wary of. If you're short, then you're going to have a problem. I am a little tall, so I can see everything around quite well, so you get a good view of what's around. But yeah, the dashboard is set very high up, and there's good amount of grip because obviously this is for Matic. You also get rear wheel drive version, not in India, abroad, lower variant, but this has all the bells and whistles, honestly. Only thing is rear wheel steering should have been offered here, because rear wheel steering really helps, because these cars, the EQ cars, have a very aggressive rear wheel steering angle of almost 10 degrees, which makes it super duper duper maneuverable as well. Now 0 to 100 kilometers per hour takes around 4.9 seconds, which is quick enough, and top speed is 210 kilometers per hour, which is not quick enough, by the way. And over bad roads, now you feel a bit of the bump because obviously it is on the stiffer side. So here you see bad roads are right ahead of us, but no problem. Yeah, there it moves around because low speed ride is on the stiffer side, and obviously European cars, they kind of flatten out the ride as you speed up, so the ride definitely becomes better there, which means that I have the option of changing stuff again. There's an off-road mode. Who's going to take this car off-road? Please tell me. Which obviously brings me to the charging option. So it comes with an 11 kilowatt AC charger as standard, which will juice up the battery in around 8 hours. Otherwise, it can charge up to 170 kilowatt. That's the maximum it can charge, which is not very fast, by the way, because Hyundai Kia cars are doing 350 kilowatt DC fast charging. This is a 400 volt architecture, which is not that impressive because people are offering, companies are offering 800 volt architecture. So that's where Mercedes is a bit behind, I would say. However, this car can charge in just half an hour with a 170 kilowatt DC fast charger, which fast charger, am I eating my words? Whatever, I'm hungry. So it can charge that fast. However, you're not going to find that one. You're going to find a 60 kilowatt one, which will juice up the battery in, I think, 1.5 hours. It has a 90.56 kilowatt hour battery pack, right? So it's plain, simple, basic stuff to actually calculate. So we're actually going to come into the sport mode. Yeah, left foot on the brakes, right foot on the accelerator, and off we go. That was fast. Yeah, but the brakes are not that good. You have that nosedive under heavy braking. I think the braking performance could be better here. Obviously you've got regen, and then I've turned on strong regen, and there, because I've turned it on, it's almost coming to a halt. It's slowing down that fast. So we have got 3 modes for that. I don't think it has got one pedal mode, because obviously the car is now cruising at 14 kilometers per hour in the strongest of regen modes. So I'm just going to come to no regen, and then obviously it's accelerating, so it's kind of cruising or crawling at that speed. So mostly now when you find a 60 kilowatt DC charger in India, it splits between 2 guns, and usually there's a Tata car which is always parked there. A Nexon which can charge at a maximum 30 kilowatt will still plug in a 60 kilowatt charger and reduce the speed, and it doesn't really charge at that speed. 30 kilowatt, I've never seen a Nexon charge at that speed. It usually charges slower, so it's going to rob away the speed. So you are going to get 30 kilowatt charging with this car, which means 3 hours to charge the battery. It's simple mathematics. 90.56 kilowatt hour battery pack, and then so you can easily understand how much time it's going to take to charge. But then again, battery pack is decently big and this car is heavy. It is definitely heavy, but it's quite easy to drive. Only thing is the sound experience is not there, because electric obviously does not have that sound, and that's the reason you really don't have that feel of driving. Okay, I press some button which is for ADAS or something of that sort. So here we are going to change the mode. I think the classic one is the best, but then there's this navigation mode. So they're doing some really amazing stuff with screens, because obviously now that main thing about a car, which is the sound, the performance, the way power is delivered, is nullified, because obviously electric motor, one big shove of power and that's it. There is no low end to deal with, there is no gearbox to deal with or gears or whatever. So it's kind of very commoditized, and obviously I am somewhere in Gulmarg right now driving this car in a very eco-friendly place, so to speak. But this is a place where most of the BS1 and BS2 cars end up. Yeah, I see so many Taveras which spew out smoke. In fact, because there's some power outage in the hotel where this car is being charged, that was running the electric guns, the charging cables or the charging machines, using a diesel generator, spewing out smoke. So how sustainable is that? That's obviously not sustainable at all. So we really need to figure out a clean source of energy in India, because that's something we are really very far away. And off we go. Ho, ho, ho. Yeah, I become Santa Claus every time I accelerate in this car, because I kind of find it fast. Yeah, 4.9 seconds to go from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour is quick enough. And there, this assistance mode is obviously there. You get a lot of ADAS functions, lane keep assist, forward collision warning, automatic emergency braking, which is nothing new in this car, because Mercedes offers it with a ton of their cars. That's how it has been since quite some time now. Earlier systems were very intrusive. With time, obviously things have smoothed out a bit. It's showing me people walking there. Can you see that? How cool is that? And the heads-up display is just amazing in terms of quality. So Mercedes obviously nails it. Then there's a service mode, which brings me to the battery pack of this car. Now nothing else will do for this guy, so kind of move ahead quickly. So the battery pack has a class-leading warranty of 10 years, 2.5 lakh kilometers. So that's amazing. Mercedes is putting a lot of effort to tell people that, you know what, you can drive an electric car, by even saying stuff like this car will hold its residual value same as a GLE in 5 years, which is quite surprising. Usually people offer 8 years, 1.6 lakh kilometer warranty. Mercedes is like, no, we will go one step up and we will offer you an even better warranty, which is honestly quite nice. Which actually brings me to the price of this car. Rupees 1.47 crores on road Mumbai. This car comes in via the CBU route. No, it's not locally assembled. Unlike the Mercedes EQS, which is obviously locally assembled. Honestly, I would say pay a little bit more money and get the EQS. The EQS is just a superior car with a bigger 107.8 kilowatt hour battery pack. Better range, more aerodynamic and rear wheel steering and whatnot. I would opt for that. But if you're looking for an SUV, you would want to opt for this. But there's a lot of competition here, because there is the Audi Q8 e-tron, which is also a phenomenal car, which has a battery pack which is much bigger than this one. Around 114 kilowatt hour battery pack, better range as well. But then this range is obviously WLTP claimed, which means that real world you should get 400 to 450 kilometers quite easily. That won't be that difficult actually to achieve. Wiper test has not been done, so we are going to do it right now. I don't understand why small and significant features like headlight washers and all have been done away with. Okay, it says horn. So I've honked right now. Horn is nice actually. Mercedes always makes nice horns. Every time I accelerate now, I'm like, go back into the seat wala feeling. That's quite cool. Can you see that sumo right there? Yeah, it pollutes a lot, but then whatever. Let's talk about sustainability. This car has got 70 kgs of recycled material. By the way, I need to show you another cool feature. Let's get into the off-road mode, and it has got something known as the transparent bonnet. So there you can see what's underneath, which is a very cool feature to have. Another very cool feature is that they try to make this car exciting by offering you something which I really hate about electric cars is the sound. So they give this fake sound thingy. So all settings, we get into vehicle, then there's a sound experience. Let me turn it on. Listen to this, okay? There are 3 options: silver waves, vivid flux, and roaring pulse. There, can you hear that? I think silver waves does sound the best, which means it's time to launch. Okay, we'll launch it actually later because this sort of a blind ahead, but oh my god, sounds like a freaking V8 engine but obviously very fake, so that's not really fun. Vivid Flux also sounds nice, but it's Silver Waves which sounds the best. So Vivid Flux, yeah, not for me, but some people might like it. Roaring Pulse, okay, listen to this. Okay, it looks, or rather sounds like a thunderstorm to me, but I think Silver Waves is undoubtedly the best one, because yeah, it's like the whoosh wala feeling, but at the end of the day, that's fake sound. That really doesn't excite you as much. Best to just turn it off and drive in silence, because the insulation levels of this car are fantastic. You can't hear the road noise, you can't hear anything from the outside. Insulation and overall the way they have made sure that nothing comes from the outside to the inside is fantastic. So guys, this is my vlog of the Mercedes EQE SUV, and we're just going to make a quick overtake. No problem. Bye bye.